Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. You may have noticed that whenever you apply for a job, in most of the companies, you have to pass the coding assessment challenge. So, I have prepared 150 coding questions on Python. First, we will start with some easy examples and then we will move towards some advanced questions. Okay, so that you can easily pass that coding assessment challenge. That is our main motive. Okay, now let's start. The first question is very simple. You can see that arithmetic operations. We will perform addition and division on two numbers. Okay. First, I am taking number 1 in num1 variable and number 2 in the second variable. And I am doing sum result equals to num1 plus num2. And I am printing the sum. Okay. Now suppose if I run the program, then what do you think the output will be? Can you see any error in this program? If I write 10, then I write 12, then what will be the output? See, this is not the desired output. Do you know the solution? I hope you know. If you don't know, then also it's fine. We have to just convert it to a data type because by default in Python, everything is a string. That's why, sorry, that's why they are performing string operation. They are concatenating the number 10, 12 written side by side because 10 is also a string, 12 is also a string. Now to solve this problem, I can write the int function. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Now if I run it, see, if I write 10, now I write 12, you can see 22. Now suppose if I run it again and I provide 10.5, then see there is an error. So it can handle the integer values only because I have used the int function. Int function converted the string to integer. But here 10.5 cannot be integer, that's why it is showing as an error. So I can write float. So if I write float and then I run it, sorry for typing mistake. Now if I provide 10.5, fine. I provide 12. No, see. Okay, so 12 is on converted to 12.0 and the sum is 22.5. Okay, so if you give int function, then it will work only for integer. If you want to work with float also, then you have to convert it to float. String cannot be concatenated. String can be concatenated but cannot be added. Okay. Now if I want to divide the number, I want to perform division also. So again, two inputs, and if the number 4, the second number is 0, then you cannot divide. You cannot divide any number by 0. So you have just given a case. Else you can simply divide them and print the result. Now if I run it, I think now you can easily say that there will be a problem because by default it is string. So all you have to do is change it to an integer. Fine. Again provide in function. And now if I run it, then you can write 5, 4, it will work. Okay. Even if you run 5, then you give 0, then also it will show you a case that it is not possible. Okay. So you understand. These are the simple things. Now let's do this one. Area of a triangle. Do you know how to calculate the area of a triangle? Area of a triangle formula is half into base into height. So 0.5 into base into height. So you have to take two inputs. Base is taken as an input, converted it into float, and height is taken as the input, converted to a float. Now if you provide the base and the height, your area will be calculated. Okay, if you just give 4 to half into 2 into 4, that means 4. So the area of triangle is 4. Fine. Now next, show two variables. Show two variable means suppose in A you have a blue colored pen, right? In the B variable you have a red colored pen. Now you want to keep the red into A and the blue pen into B. So what can you do? Simply think. You will just take another bowl, that is C, a temporary bowl. Now what you do? You keep the blue pen into the C container, right? Now your A is an empty bowl. Now you take the red pen and keep it in the container A. Fine. Now B is empty. So what you can do? You can take the blue pen from C and keep it in the B. So you have just swapped it. Same here. I have taken a temporary variable, or you can say C, any name you can provide. There I have kept the value of A. Next, I have taken the value from B, kept it in the A. Now that temporary variable is again kept in the B. So simply the value of A and value of B are swapped. Simple concept, but sometimes they may ask you these types of concept also. Okay, so if you just run it and you give two numbers to A and B, and then you can see that the numbers have been solved. Okay, let me show it to you. A equal to 4, B equal to 45. You can see again there is a problem, that is you have to convert into int. So I have provided an integer, so that's why you have to convert it into an integer. Let me run it again. Now if I write 2 and write 4, it will be swap. Okay. If you work with string, then you don't need to do the conversion. But if you work in any other data type, then you have to change. Okay. Now next, without a temporary variable, just in Python, you can write a single line code a comma b equal to b comma a. That means the value of b will be transferred to a. The value of a will be transferred to b. So your variables will be swapped. You don't need any temporary variable. Okay, in Python, you can do that. Okay. Now next question, generate a random number. How can you generate a random number? For that, you can use the random library. From there, if you take randint, then you can generate any random integer from this range. 1 is the initial range, 100 is the, suppose if I give 10 and then I provide 15. Then one number will be generated starting from 10 to 15. Okay. So from 10 to 15, between this range, you can generate any random integer. Okay. Simple, just you have to know the function. Now suppose this question. Convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. First you have to take an input. You have converted into float. No problem. Now I hope you know the formula. C by 5 equal to F minus 32 by 9. So you just have to calculate Fahrenheit and you have to use that equation. Celsius into 9 by 5 plus 32. Then you can simply, you just run it and check it. Fine. Now our next question is, check prime numbers. So first I have taken an input as a prime. Now you know what is prime number? Number means that the number is divisible by 1 and by that number only. Otherwise it will be not prime number. If 10 is divisible by 2, 5, so 10 is not a prime number. 11 is divisible by 11 and by 1 only. No other numbers can divide 11, so that's why 11 is a non-prime number. What about 15? 15 is divisible by 3 and 5, so 15 is non-prime number. So you have to just take a number and check whether that number is prime or non-prime. That is the question. So for that, what you can do? You have to first take the input. You have to take 15 as an input. Now you take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you try to divide the number 15 by these numbers. If it is divisible, if the remainder is 0, that means this is non-prime number. If the remainder is not 0, then it is a prime number, right? So here I have taken an integer as input, num equal to, it may be any number, whatever you want to provide. First, I have created a flag equal to false. Why it will you will understand later. Okay. First, I have to check whether the number is 1 because as an input I can give 1 also. If I give 1, then you don't need to do anything. Just print that it is not a prime number. That is perfect. But if it is not 1, then I check the number is greater than 1. Okay, the number is greater than 1. So the number is 15. So I go into the for loop. Here I generate for I in range 2 to number. Range means it will generate some numbers from 2 to that number from 2 to 15. So it will generate 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to 15. All the numbers it will generate. Now my job is to divide 15 by all these numbers one by one and check whether the remainder is 0 or not. Simple logic. So first I take 15 modulus by 2. That means the remainder. So remainder here is 1, not 0. So the condition is not satisfied. So these statements will not execute. It will come back to the loop. Perfect. Now it becomes 3 because range will generate the number. The next number 3. Number is 15. So you go inside 15 divisible by 3. The remainder will be 0. So the condition is satisfied. Now the flag becomes true, which was false before. Now once it becomes true, you break the loop. So you just come out of the loop. And now you check the condition. If flag, now the flag will be replaced by true because it has become true. So if true, yeah, that satisfies the condition. So it is not a prime number. 15 is not a prime number. Perfect. Else it is a prime number. Okay, suppose 11. So I take 11. 11 is not 1. So if condition not satisfied. Goes into the else if condition. Else if condition 15 greater than 1. So it goes into the loop for I in range 2 to 15. So it will generate numbers from 2 to 15. Now, sorry, 2 to 11. Now if 11 modulus of I, that means 11 modulus of 2 equal to 0. No, that is not satisfied. The remainder is 1. So it will not execute the next statements. It will come back to the loop. Now the number is 3. So 11 modulus of 3, that is also remainder 1. So not satisfied. This will not execute. It will come back to the loop. Now 4, not satisfied. Now 5, not satisfied. Now 6, not satisfied. In this, it will go up to 10. Okay. So condition is not satisfied for any scenario, the for loop will be finished and the flag is still false because you are unable to go inside, so you could not make it true. So the flag is still false. And now if you come out and you check the condition, if flag, that means if false. If false means this line will not execute, instead it will go into the else part. So it will be executed. So you can see that this will be a prime number. Perfect. So if you get these types of coding, I think you will be able to do it. Okay. Now, our next question. Suppose if you want to display a calendar, how can you do that? First, you have to know for which month and for which year you want to display the calendar. Maybe I want to know about uh, January 1991. So you have to give the year first. Okay. Now let's do one display calendar. You have to display the calendar. It's simple. You just have to use the function called calendar.month. First you have to provide the month, then you have to provide the year, then you call the function, then it will be displayed. Suppose if I want to see 1991 and month I want to give February. See, it will give you the calendar of February 1991. You just have to remember the Python function. Okay. Now the next one. Display the multiplication table. Like 1 into 1 equals to 1, 1 into 2 equals to 2, 1 into 3 equals to 3. Okay, so what you have to do, you just have to provide the, suppose I want to say 3. Okay, now let's just enter C. 3 into 1, 3, 3 into 2, 6. So that's what I want to display. Okay, so first you have to take the input. So I want to see the multiplication table of 3. So I have taken the input as 3. Now it will generate numbers from 1 to 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Now print 3 into first one, that is 1. 3 into 1 equals to 3 into 1. So you can say 3. Now 3 into 2 equals to 6. 3 into 3 equals to the multiplication number. This is done by formatting string. I hope you know. Formatting string means if you want to print it in a particular format, in your desired format, then you can use that F in front of this. Okay, so inside you just have to provide the second bracket, and in that second bracket you can do any kind of calculation. Okay, and all other things will be normally printed. So here in the second bracket I have provided now, that is the input. So it will be 3 for every time, and I is changing because I am creating a for loop where I am generating the numbers. I generated as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and here the multiplication is done. Okay, fine. Okay, so for today, I think we have done almost 10 programmings, and these are easy programmings. Next session, we will start how to do this kind of quadratic equation, how to find the factorial of a number, how to print the Fibonacci series, and many, many more. Almost 150 questions I have saved for you so that you can practice them and you can go for the interview and you can easily crack that coding assessment challenge. Okay, so bye, happy learning.